and that was perfect. So that's nice and low. Again, a little bit low on the club face there, but that's perfectly okay because this is a shot that I'm working on to make sure I get that ball in the fairway. Welcome to the channel, guys. My name's Ryan Mouque, and today we're at Carbrook Golf Club here in Brisbane, Australia. And I'm going to show you today a shot that I really love to play. It's the Stinger driver. Now I use this as what I call a second serve. When I'm not hitting it the best and my drives aren't doing what I want to do, I can play this driver stinger, get it into play, guarantee that fairway. Let's get stuck in. Alrighty, so let's get stuck into this shot today. It's the Stinger driver. Now, I use this shot a lot on the golf course when I don't have my best stuff, okay? And I think that a lot of amateur golfers or recreational golfers, even elite players, should be using this shot more often. We want to keep the ball out of the air so the wind doesn't touch it and the curvature can't go as far left or right. Get it going a little lower, hitting the ground earlier, and using the fairway or using the ground to get our distance. So I think one of the most important things to understand is, what does our stock driver look like? What does the setup look like? The ball position, the body position. How does that look when we're trying to hit a normal shot? So I'm going to place a tee in the ground just as I would for a normal driver. I'm going to tee the ball up a certain amount, right? So we kind of all know how to tee this ball up. Okay, it's quite high on the face, which is fantastic if I want to get this ball launching up in the air and getting it as far as possible, such as it might be on a downwind hole or just any hole for that matter. So how I would set up is I would have this alignment stick just in the inside of my lead heel, and I would set up looking like this, nice wide stance, tilt my body behind the golf ball, and this is going to give myself an angle of attack that works upwards, okay, showing that driver a lot of loft. So I'm setting my angle of attack behind the ball. That's how I'm going to look when I hit my, what I call like a bomb driver, right? When I'm trying to hit it as far as I can. So obviously I'm going to take this club back, I'm going to load my right side, and I'm going to feel like I'm staying behind that ball at all times, keeping everything behind, and that's what's going to give me that loft to launch the ball up in the sky. Now, that's great, and I'm hoping that I could hit that every time, but some days I just feel like it's not working for me. Some days I feel like that ball goes out to the right, or I get stuck underneath it and flip it left. So I need a shot in my toolbox as a golfer to be able to stand on a hole with out of bounds on the right or hazard down the left and say, look, I'm going to play this shot because I know 90% of the time where it's going. And that's where we come to the little low stinging driver. So how would I set up to the low driver? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tee this ball down even more, okay? And this is going to be player to player dependent on how far down you want to tee that ball, but I would like it somewhere around there. Now that might scare a lot of people, but in reality, we're still going to hit the middle of the face, okay? Sometimes we might hit the bottom of the face, but that's okay. But when you see this now, it's situated in the middle of my golf club. Now the next thing I need to do with my setup is I'm going to place that ball ever so slightly more inside the lead heel, different to when I was hitting the high shot. Okay, so the ball's slightly inside the lead heel, and I'm not going to tilt my body as back or as far back as I was with the high shot. So everything I'm doing right now is to get that ball going a little lower for me. Okay, so I'm going to set up. Ball position's ever so slightly back of where it was for the normal driver. And I'm going to just set up and basically remain right here. So my chest is a little bit more centered over that golf ball. And when I take this club back, I'm going to feel like I'm staying more centered with my turn. So again, remember the big shot was me really trying to feel like I'm getting behind the ball. You can see how far behind the ball I am right now. Whereas this lower one, I'm trying to stay more on top of this golf ball. So I'm going to turn, I'm staying more on top of that ball. Now from here, when I start to come down, I'm going to feel like I'm coming down as per normal. And you can see that I've got a little bit more shaft lean, and I can get that ball a little bit more on a downward angle of attack, ever so slightly. It'll probably be somewhere around the square to maybe 1 or 2 degrees down. And this is going to produce a nice low shot. Okay, now The only thing I'm going to say about where the ball is situated in our stance, okay, is if we were to look from this view here, the more back my golf ball goes, so let's say I put the driver back in my stance now, and I get to the top and I come and swing down, well, that club's now moving from the inside, and it's going to collect the ball a little bit too far from the inside, an open club face, and I'm going to see it go out to the right. So what I need to do to adjust is, like I said, get that ball position slightly inside that lead heel, stay on top of it, and I want you to feel like you're covering this ball with your chest. So as I start to come down, I'm really trying to feel like I'm exiting more left. And because I'm hitting down on this golf ball, I'm kind of offsetting the amount of my path going to the right when I kind of feel like I move left on this ball. Okay, so the time has come for me to hit this golf shot for you. So again, I'm going to follow all those steps I just did, and I'm going to hopefully get this ball to come out really low. It's going to hit the ground pretty early. Like my normal carry with driver is, say, 250 meters carry. I'm looking for this to carry maybe 210, 220. Now, depending on the conditions of your golf course, of course, this will run out to the distance I would perhaps normally hit a golf ball. Maybe not as much, maybe 10 meters less, but let's give this a go. So I'm going to set up, nice low tee, ball slightly inside my left heel. I'm going to stay fairly centered on this, and I just want to feel like I'm covering that ball to the left. And that was perfect. So that's nice and low. Again, a little bit low on the club face there, but that's perfectly okay, because this is a shot that I'm working on to make sure I get that ball in the fairway. Now, obviously you can use this shot when you're nervous, when you've got stuff to the right or stuff to the left. You can use it obviously into the wind. So if you're playing a really gusty day of golf and it's blowing 30 miles an hour, this is a great shot to keep that ball out of the air, keep it going sideways on you. Because I mean, if you get a little bit of that tail on your golf ball on a left to right wind, that thing's gone. It's really hard to recover from that shot. So guys, just to recap, all I really felt like I was doing technically there, I had my setup position, but all I felt like I was doing technically to get that club back in front of me rather than get stuck underneath is to basically feel like I cover it. And you saw that shot, it didn't move, it was dead straight. It didn't have any left to right on it, it didn't have any right to left on it, maybe a fraction left to right, but it was a really good golf shot and one that I would take every day of the week. And look, when you're playing this shot, don't worry too much about how you hit it. Remember, it's a shot that I call the second serve. So in tennis, right, if you miss that first serve, you've got to play a second serve. It's got to be a little softer. It's got to be a little bit more, caressed into the service box, okay? That's what we're trying to do here with golf. We need that second serve in our arsenal to play better golf. So guys, I hope you all enjoyed that video. If you've got any questions, please comment below, and of course, like and subscribe to see more of these videos. My name's Ryan Mouque, coming at you from Carbrook Golf Club in Brisbane, Australia. Thanks for watching. See you next time.